Now, does your company, Sea-Track Fleet Management, have any relationship with the South African Police Service?
Yes, my lord. Sea-Track Fleet Management provides solutions, or a solution to the South African Police Force in terms of a AVL system, automated vehicle locator, that we install in the SAPS vehicles.
Yebo siyasebenzisana ke namaphoyisa ke aseNingizimu Afrika kwiimoto zabo ke sifaka lokhu ke noma ke system ebizwa ngokuthi ke i-AVL.
Mr. Dupree, you can continue and tell the court in your own words how this product works and the nature of the relationship with the South African police.
My lord, the nature of the relationship with the South African Police Force is we've been awarded a tender to install these tracking devices in this SAPS fleet. We've been doing so for a number of years, and the system entails that we...
Just a minute. Just give the interpreter a chance.
Indlela ke esisebenza ngayo namaphoyisa ke ukuthi sanikezwa ke lo msebenzi phelezi ke le tender ke yokuthi sifake ke kwiimoto zabo ke le system ke lena ibizwa ngokuthi iyona i-AVL futhi ke sekuyiminyaka ke sisebenzisana nabo.
It involves our staff installing hardware in the SAPS vehicles. This hardware is equipped with a GPS.
Lokho ke kuhlanganisa ke noma kufaka ke ukuthi ke abasebenzi bethu ke noma istaff sethu ke bafake ke ama hardware kwiimoto zawo amaphoyisa ke futhi leyo hardware leyo ke ine GPS.
There's also a GSM modem with a SIM card in it, and this device is then connected to the wiring of the SAPS vehicle.
GSM modem, SIM card.
Yeah, that's correct.
Futhi ke kufakwa ke okubizwa ngokuthi ke i-modem ke kuyona ke le i-modem ke e-GMS ene SIM card kuyona.
Can I just explain?
What did you say after the SIM card? Sorry.
Connected to the vehicle.
Okay. Futhi ke yona ke ehlanganiswa noma ke connectwa ke kuyona ke imoto.
Can I ask you to explain these technical terms as you go along? GPS stands for?
GPS represents Global Positioning System. That is just a normal location service. Allows us to know where the vehicle is.
General picture.
GPS, Global Positioning System.
I-GPS yona ke i-Global Positioning System yona ke echazayo ke ukuthi noma ke ikunikeza ke ukuthi ikuphi nendawo ke.
Yes, and GSM?
GSM is the cellular network, the simple term for it, as we all know it. So it's just a means of communication from the device to another environment. So it's communication, cellular communication.
Lana ke i-GSM lona ke uxhumana ke lokho okhona ke phakathi kwayo i-device lena ke kanye futhi ke ne-location noma indawo ke ethize.
Yes. The system would then allow, the system installed is connected to the vehicle, and that allows us to know whether the vehicle is switched on, switched off, is it traveling, is it standing still, at which speed is it, and where is it.
Lana ke lokhu nje lokuxhumana lokhu ke la engithi khona ke lokuxhumana phakathi kwale system ebizwa ngokuthi i-GSM yona ke esichazelayo ukuthi imoto yenzani, imoto iyahamba, imoto imile, imoto ixeshiwe ke futhi ke isiphi isivinini ehamba ngaso.
The data collected on the vehicle is then relayed or transferred or transmitted over the GSM network to a centralized environment located in Numerus.
Let's take that slow. Can you repeat? Let's take that slow. Can you repeat?
The data provide or
raise your voice. Yeah.
The data recorded
Yes.
by the system on the vehicle.
Yes. Lokhu ke noma le mininingwane etholakalayo ke yayo imoto ekhona ke
Is transmitted via the GSM network, the cellular network,
iyandluliswa ke idluliswa ngayo ke le network lena ke ibizwa ngokuthi i-GSM
to a centralized environment in Numerus.
ithathwa ke isiwe ke kwindawo ke centralized noma ke emaphakathi ke kulona lokho okubizwa ngokuthi i-numerous.
And what is numerous?
That's it's the Numerus is just a building name. That is the premises of the State Information Technology Agency.
State
State Information.
or SITA.
Yeah, SITA.
Lana ke nje unumerous lona ke kusho nje ibility ke ukuthi ke ngathi ke State Information Technology Agency.
The AVL data is housed in this environment, and from this environment it can be accessed by registered users.
Lana ke manje ke le information ke manje ke ila indluliswa noma ke igcinwa khona lapho ke ukusuka lapho ke ingathi ke manje isiyandlulisela noma ke futhi ikwazi utholwa yilaba abanelungelo noma abamele ukuthi ke bayisebenzise.
Such registered users, my lord, will only have access to vehicles that they are allowed to see or is allocated to their cost center.
Futhi ke labo ke bazokwazi noma bazokhona kuphela ke ukuthi babone imoto abayisebenzisayo abasebenza ngazo noma abanelungelo lokuthi ke bayibone.
Just to make it simple, that a specific police station will only have access to that police station's vehicle, and certain divisions within that police station will only have access to their specific division's vehicle. So it's not everybody seeing everybody's vehicles.
Ukwenza nje ukuthi kubelula ke ukuchaza ke lokho ukuthi ke isiteshi esithize samaphoyisa isona ke esizokhona ke ukuthi siboneke izimoto zabo ke futhi ke uhlaka ke oluthule noma ke iunit ethile kuleyo police station leyo bazobona izimoto eziwa ngaphansi kwaleyo unit leyo akusi ukuthi ubani uzobona ke abheke noma yini.
All this data collated over a period of time is then stored in a database.
Futhi konke ke yonke le mininingwane manje ke ese ihlanganisiwe ke etholakele ngesikhathi noma ngokuhamba ke kwesikhathi izo ifakwa ke kuloko kubizwa ngokuthi ke i-database.
And from in with this data, users, authorized users, can gain access to historical data of a vehicle for a defined period.
Futhi ke laba abaselungelweni ke noma abavumelekile ke ukuthi babheke ke noma basebenzise lezo imoto lezo ke bazokhona ukuthi manje babheke ke isikhathi ke esithize bebheka imoto ethize.
Hence, users being available to compile data like we have in court today, giving detailed data of a vehicle over a period of time, though it be a number of years later.
Ingakho ke labo ke abavumelekile ke noma ke abanelungelo ke bekhona ke noma bekwazi ke ukuthi manje balethe ke lokhu ezizwe nako ke la enkantolo namhlanje ke lombiko ke noma ke le data ke noma sekudlule isikhathi seminyaka ethize.
I think that's about the system in a nutshell, my lord.
Indlela ke isystem leyo esebenza ngayo.
And once the registered users are able to access the data, how is that information then packaged?
My lord, depending on the type of report compiled, and I'll use the reports in question we have in front of us today.
Kuya ngokuthi ke umbiko okanjani ke ngokufuna ukwazi ke uma ngaba leyo umbiko manje usohlanganisiwe ke ugcinwa kanjani ke kuya ngokuthi umbiko kanjani ke ngizosebenzisa lona ke engize nawo la enkantolo namuhla.
A report will be compiled based on a specific vehicle identification or registration number.
Umbiko uzohlanganiswa ke uma kuya ngokuthi ke no osikunikiwe ke noma imininingwane esinikiwe yemoto okufana ke ne registration
And a period of time.
kanye futhi nesikhathi imoto lesi esetshenziswe ngaso.
On the requesting the report, a command is executed whereby data for this period is then extracted from the database.
Uma ke kutholakala ke isicelo noma umbiko lona ke kukhishwa ke umbiko ngokumayela nesikhathi esithize.
It is then provided in a visible format on a computer screen.
Bese iyakhishwa ke la ibonakala khona ke ku screen se computer,
from where the user can then print such document in a PDF format.
bese kuthi loyo ke manje uyakwazi ke ukuthi uyayiprinta ke lo noma lokho okubonayo ku computer uyaprinta kule format ke ebizwa ngokuthi noma kule ndlela ke ebizwa ngokuthi yi-PDF.
And the document can be reproduced a number of times in the exact same format with the exact same data. So what I'm trying to say is it's reproducible, and it would be the same if whether I produce it today or I produce it in 3 years' time or I produce it for 3 years ago, it would be the same data.
Noma ke ungayenza ke noma isikhathi sesiningi noma ungakhipha namuhla kweminyaka elandelayo ke emithathu noma kwiminyaka endlulile emithathu izophuma ingendlela eyodwa, kusho ukuthi ke angeke kushintshe lutho.
Did you receive a request in this matter regarding a specific vehicle?
That is correct, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi isicelo ngasithola ke kuleli cala mayelana nemoto ethize.
And upon receiving these requests, what did you do?
My lord, upon receiving the request, we extracted the data from the SAPS AVL database.
Uma sesisicelo leso sicelo leso ke sayikhipha ke i-data leyo ke kwi-AVL ye-SAPS
and produced a paper copy we have here today.
Sasesikipha ke amakhophi ke ephepha ke noma ke paper copy le esinayo ke la namuhla.
You're referring to exhibit MM2 in brackets A, the one that you've printed?
That is correct, my lord.
Khuluma ngalena ke engiyiprintile.
There's also an A3 version, exhibit MM2. Can you just identify that for us?
Yes, my lord. This version MM2 is an exact copy of the version or the documents I compiled. This is just in a different form factor, being that it was printed on A3 paper with a lot of the headings and stuff removed to gain real estate, to have more data on a single page.
Lena ke enkulu ke esinayo ke ekuyilena ke esetshenziswayo ke la enkantolo iyona ke ngamashi lena ke mina ke engiyiprintile ukuthi nje umehluko ke kuyona ke ukukhishwe nje ama topics la kubhaliwe ke khona ke ngaphezulu, kodwa iyona futhi yenziwe ke kwi-A3.
Can you just perhaps explain to the court what information is supplied by the C-track system?
My lord, the information supplied would be the vehicle itself, the registration of it.
Imininingwane ezokhishwa ke iyona ke usi-track lona ke imayela nemoto i-registration.
It will also reflect the bobby number as we refer it to. That's the B registration plate linked to that specific registration number.
Futhi ke izokhipha ke lokuthi na ke esikubiza ke njenge bobby number ile B registration plate iyayo ke moto leyo.
It will also then display the date and the time.
Izochaza ke ilanga noma ke i-date kanye nesikhathi.
The vehicle status is reflected, and the vehicle status would be: is the vehicle driving? Is it switched off? what is the vehicle doing at that particular date and time.
Isizochaza-ke nesimo-ke sayo imoto. Masikhuluma ngesimo-ke, sikhuluma ngokuthi imoto iyahamba, imoto imile, imoto iyaduma ngaleso sikhathi leso.
It will also display the speed and the odometer of the vehicle, the odometer being the delta that refers to the distance traveled between two positions.
Isizochaza-ke nesivinini imoto ehamba ngaso-ke ibese ichaza-ke naloko kubizwa ngokuthi i-auto-ke ibanga-ke phakathi kwey'ndawo ey'mbili ezahlukene imoto ehambile ngaleso sikhathi.
And then the location of the vehicle is reflected as a point of reference on the map and also a longitude and latitude.
Bese chaza-ke i-location noma-ke indawo-ke indawo leyo-ke kwimephu-ke engathi-ke imoto etholakala ekuyona noma la ikhona.
And how does the AVL system works? What events are described and reported by the AVL unit?
My Lord, if I can try and put them in some form of logical order, it would show the vehicle starting.
Uma ngaqala ngalendlela ngisho ngalendlela-ke izoyitshengisa-ke imoto uma iduma dunyiswa.
Then it would show the vehicle when it's driving.
Izoyitshengisa-ke imoto uma ihamba.
It will show the vehicle when it's stationary but still idling.
Izoyitshengisa-ke imoto uma imile kodwa isaduma.
It will show the driver behavior in the form of either overspeeding or harsh braking.
Izotshengisake nesimo-ke somshayeli-ke lana sikhuluma ngokuthi-ke weqile kwisivinini noma futhi-ke indlela-ke abamba ngayo ama-brake.
And then it will show the vehicle being switched off again, the ignition being off.
Izotshengisake noma-ke imoto icishwa-ke ingasadumi.
And then obviously there would be various alarm types. For instance, if the battery is disconnected, it would give you a battery tamper.
Noma ukuthi-ke mhlambe-ke kunenkinga ekhona-ke ebhetrini-ke izokutshela-ke ukuthi-ke kukhona-ke okwenzakeleke noma okwenzakalayo ngayo ibhetri.
I think that's about the highlights of the statuses being available.
Ngicabanga ukuthi-ke yilokho-ke ekhuluma-ke noma kusho-ke ngesimo-ke sayo.
Right, and can we maybe ask you to explain the various terminology like GPS unlock?
My Lord, the term GPS unlock, and maybe I should just go one back. For a GPS to give a position,
Uma ngabuyela umuva-ke uma khulunywa nge-GPS unlocked ukuthi-ke i-GPS ikunikezeke i-location noma indawo-ke,
that specific receiver in the C-track unit
leyo-ke itholayo noma lokho kubizwa ngokuthi-ke i-receiver kuyona-ke i-unit leyo ye-C-track
needs to receive data from a number of GPS satellites orbiting the Earth.
Ifanele-ke ukuthi-ke itholeke manje-ke noma-ke itholeke kuma-satellite ahlukene kodwa ingatholi kweyodwa i-satellite.
How many satellites, more or less?
To give a position with a longitude, latitude, and altitude, you would need a minimum of 4 satellites data to being available.
Kuzodingeka-ke ukuthi-ke utholeke i-data-ke kuma-satellites angawu-4.
Given the device have 4 satellites available, we will give an accurate longitude, latitude, and altitude, which is then reverse geocoded to a point on a map, which will then give you a coordinate.
Lokho ke uma sewutholike lama satellites awu4 ke wona ke manje isizokunikeza ke indawo osungadela noma ubheke kuyona ke kuyona imap noma lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke i-coordinate.
In the absence of data from 4 or more satellites, the system would not be able to give longitude, latitude, and altitude. And in the absence of such, we would then refer to a status as GPS unlock.
Manje ke uma kuwukuthi ke awutholi ke imininingwane ke noma ke i-data ke kulama satellites awu4 noma ke angaphezulu kwawu4 yilapho ke manje esizokunikeza ke isimo noma ke i-status lethi ke la ishoyo ukuthi manje i-GPS unlocked.
While in this GPS unlock state, the last valid position recorded would be the prevailing position.
Usekuyena ke lo GPS unlocked indawo yokugcina ke kuzoba ke iyona ke leyo ke noma indawo leyo yangaleso sikhathi.
And that's only being done because that is the last valid data being available, my lord.
Ngoba ke lokho kuzobe ke kuyiyona ke idata yokugcina ke esebe engasetshenziswa noma ekhona ke ngaleso sikhathi leso.
And can a driver of a vehicle tamper with the system in any way?
My lord, these devices are installed in out of sight and without the driver or the user of the vehicle knowing where it is installed. So it is, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's unlikely that a individual would just fiddle with it.
Umshushu sifuna ukwazi ke ukuthi uyakwazi yini umshayeli wemoto ukuthi ke angaphazamisana ke nokusebenza kwalendlela ke noma nokusebenza ke kwale system. Mephendula ke uthi uma ngabe isifakwa ke kuleyo moto efakwa kuyona ke ifakwa kungekho ke obonayo noma ke akaboni ke sisho ke mshayeli kodwa nje ayibona uma ngabe ifakwa indawo le efakwa kuyona ke uthi angeke athi ke akusiyona into engeke yenzeke ke kodwa ke nje akacabangi nje na ke ukuthi kayinto ke elula ke nje ukuthi umuntu angayenza ukuthi aphazamisane ke nokusebenza kwale system.
And can the data that is stored on the numerous, the SITA, as we explained, be tampered with in any way?
My lord, without a very intimate knowledge of the system, it is virtually impossible. The data is protected by various firewalls, encryption. It is stored in an environment that is designed to store data. And then data is also stored in a very definite sequence.
Kunzima kakhulu ke usiyabiza ukuthi manje kwibilidi ke noma kwindawo noma isitha le uyichazileke khona ke lapho kulula yini ukuthi ke uphazamise nje ukusebenza kwalendlela ke uthi ke uma ke ungenalo ke ulwazi olujulile ke lokusebenza kwayo le system lena ke uthi into nje engalula ke ukuthi ungayenza ke futhi nangendlela futhi egcinwa ngayo nendawo ke egcinwa kuyona ke.
Hence, if somebody tries to alter data, the chronological order of data would appear out of sequence and out of logical reason, which will then reflect as tampered with. And you can always go back and just compile a new report, and the original will be there if somebody finds means to tamper with it.
Uma kuukuthi ke umuntu uthola indlela ke yokuthi ke aphazamisana ke nokusebenza kwayo ke izothi uma iphuma ke ila uzoyibona khona ke ukuthi ke ukulandelelana ke kwenzeka ke kwezahlakalo noma kwezinto ke yila usungako khona ke ukuthi ubuyele emuva ke manje uyoyikhipha ke kahle ke ngendlela yokulandelelana kwayo.
You mentioned that the user can access data on the numerous system. Are there any requirements for a user to access such data?
My lord, yes. Within the South African Police Service, they have very specific protocol whereby a user must be authorized if he would first apply in a form of a document, he would then be authorized by a number of officers before he can just get access. And that access then is then granted based on his authorization on vehicle or organizational type.
Lana ke ukuthi ngaphakathi ke amaphoyiseni basebenza kanjani ke ukuthi umuntu atholeke le information noma le mininingwane ke banezindlela zabo ke abayilandelayo ngaphakathi ke amaphoyiseni ukuthi umuntu ke oqala ke kuzofaneleke ukuthi ke atholeke imvume noma ke igunya ke lokuthi ke akwenzeke lokho futhi ke uzondlula ke kubantu abahlukene ke abazomnikeza ke kona lokho futhi ke uzochaza ke ngokwesikhathi ke futhi nangokwemininingwane ukuthi yini ayifunayo.
Is there a way to determine who access the data?
My Lord, yes, there's record of every transaction. So every time a person logs in, he needs to authenticate himself by a username and a password, and that is logged in a log file. It would therefore be easy to say who logged on when and was doing what.
Futhi ke kunendlela ke yokulandelela ke noma yokuthola ke ukuthi bekuwubani ke ologe in noma ke osebenzileke lana ngokuthi futhi kuzofanele ke efake lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke igama lakhe noma i-username kanye futhi ke ne-password kuzoba lula ke kumlandelela ke kamuva ukubheka ke ukuthi ngesikhathi esithize ngelanga elithile ubani obengenile noma ke ethole ekhipha imininingwane.
Are there any registration requirements for such users?
My Lord, each member that is granted access is registered against these South African Police Services profile with his force number, name detail, unit detail. So it's his whole pedigree is registered against that user.
Futhi ke umuntu osebenzisa ke noma ke okwaziyo ke ukuthi abe user ke lapha imininingwane yakhe yonke nje ngaphakathi ke eyasemaphoyiseni i-force number yakhe igama lakhe isikhundla sakhe noma ukuthi ke i-unit yakhe ke yonke leyo mininingwane ikhona.
You have compared the data that you have compiled, MM2A, against Exhibit MM2, the A3 version. What is your view regarding?
My Lord, this is an exact copy of the data. There's a 100% match in data. The only difference is that the police insignia was removed from the document and the wording movement report. But as for the physical data that is recorded, it is an exact match.
This was moved from this one.
Yeah. So
okay. Uthi ke uma ukhathanisa lokho kubili ke ukuthi nje into eyodwa ke lena ke uthi ngathi ke 100% umehluko nje ukuthi la kunale yamaphoyisa ke tshengisayo ukuthi amaphoyisa engekho ke khona lana kanye futhi nalana bhaliwe movement report kodwa njena into nje eyodwa le lama documents amabili.
Do you confirm the correctness of the report that you've compiled or that you've printed, Exhibit MM2 in brackets A and Exhibit MM2?
I do confirm the correctness, my Lord.
Futhi ke ngiyaqinisekisa ke nokuthi ke lokhu ke okhona ke kule ku MM2A lona ke okuwami no MM2 ukuthi ke ngempela ke kukanjalo noma kuyiqiniso.
If I can ask you to turn to page 6 of Exhibit MM2A on the 19th of June. I see that it's time for the long adjournment.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can we then take the long adjournment at this point?
Are you available after lunch, sir?
Excuse me, my Lord?
Are you available after lunch?
Yes, I do. I will be available, my Lord.
Yeah, because I hear that you're squeezed for time, like all capitalists. Okay, 2 o'clock then.
All right.